ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. Today we're checking out the MSI X399 Gaming Pro Carbon AC. And straight away, I have an issue with it because why is gaming in the title MSI? Please, I have talked to you about this. Get rid of it. Put something else in the title because gaming doesn't make sense on your X399 and X299 boards. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's jump into it with the key features. So, of course, this is going to support all your Threadripper CPUs from the 1900X all the way up to the 1950X. It also has the LOT socket, not the Foxconn one. So that's really good, means it's very easy to install the CPU. Now, it takes up to 128 gigabytes of quad-channel DDR4 memory at up to 3600 megahertz, and it has the steel reinforcements there, which is nice. Has 64 PCIe lanes. That's with your Threadripper CPU. That means there's a huge amount of expandability there. You know, multiple GPUs with ease, multiple M.2s with ease, so that's really nice. It has RGB on the sides. Not that much, but again, I don't know how many Threadripper users are actually going to care that much about RGB, if I'm being perfectly honest. Audio-wise, coming with the ALC 1220 codec, like pretty much all the X399 boards do, with separated audio layers and Chemicon capacitors, and the audio is very clean, very good on this motherboard. Now let's go over the layout then, and let's work top to bottom. So we'll start at the top left with the twin 8-pin CPU power connectors. So that's going to give you just plenty of power there for overclocking, so that's really good. Moving over a little bit, we have the 13-phase Dr. Moss power design with premium power phases and a solid heatsink. That's really good, and the VRM on this is very nice indeed. The steel reinforced RAM slots on either side of the TR4 socket there. In the top right corner, we have the CPU fan and pump fan headers. Then under them, we have the motherboard power beside two upright SATA 6 connectors. Then heading back towards the middle there, have another fan connector and an extra 6-pin PCI power connector. That's just going to give you a bit of extra juice if you're running multiple graphics cards in there. Going down to the slots themselves, you see you get 4 PCIe 3.0 x 16 slots with steel reinforcement and 2 PCIe 2.0 x 1 slots. You're also getting 3 M.2 PCIe 3.0 x 4 slots with the heat shields over them. So yeah, you can use all 3 if you want to go absolutely M.2 crazy. Now back on the right side, you get 6 more SATA 6 connectors and 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1 connectors. Down the bottom right there, we have the Game Boost knob, which is it's basically an auto overclocking thing, but I wouldn't really recommend them. Just do it manually. You're going to be an enthusiast if you're using this motherboard, so just do it manually. It has a debug readout, which mine always seems to say AA when it's on, but that's not really a problem. The power and the reset buttons, which is cool, beside a USB 3.1 Gen 2 header and 2 USB 2.0 headers. Then you just have your standard front panel connector, TPM header, power LED connectors, 3 more fan headers right down the bottom there, RGB headers, and finally your front panel audio connector. Now let's go around to the rear I/O and work from left to right. So there's the clear CMOS button above the BIOS flashback button, a PS2 connector above 2 USB 2.0 ports, then you get 8 USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A ports, of course your RJ45 LAN port above a USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A and Type C ports, and then all your standard gold-plated audio connections. Now let's head over to the BIOS then. So I'm running the V15 BIOS, which has fixed a lot of the issues this motherboard has. So you really, really need to update the BIOS on this motherboard straight away if you get it. It makes a ton of difference. The BIOS itself is very easy to use and has lots of features. I really like MSI's BIOSes. They're just nice to use. They've got plenty of features there for the enthusiasts. They're pretty straightforward, and once you really get used to using them, they're just very easy, and I really like them. As I said before, Threadripper is for enthusiasts, so they will enjoy a lot of the features this BIOS comes with. I manage my standard 4 GHz on my 1950X, no worries at all, and setting up the fans and everything else was also very easy with this BIOS. So yeah, I have no issues there, and it was very good for overclocking, just like all of the X399 boards I've come across so far. Which brings us then to the conclusion. What do I make of the MSI X399 Gaming Pro Carbon AC? So this is coming with some quite good features. You also get, the Wi-Fi card. That's what the AC is for, if you want to use that, although most enthusiasts will be running off a cable, I would imagine. The motherboard itself has great features. A fantastic VRM, and it is in a good looking package. I do like the look of this motherboard. But it's still a hard choice, because you would have to pick between something like this or the ASRock Tai Chi. And if I had to pick out of the two, I would still probably say the Tai Chi is slightly better. However, I would still pick this MSI board any day over any of the Gigabyte boards, any of the Gigabyte X399 boards, that is. It's just a million times better. The fact that you've got a 100% chance of getting the lot socket is another really good thing. Whereas the Tai Chi, it seems to be like a 50-50, whether you get the lot socket or the Foxconn one, which would be a bit of a disaster if you got that one. So yeah, as far as the motherboard itself goes, I think it's just a very solid, good all-rounder, and I think it's a very safe choice. That's how I would put it, a safe choice for an X399 motherboard. But you have to update that BIOS straight away. You really need to get onto that, because they've fixed a lot of issues with it, and that is something you need to do. I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.